Good morning, everyone. We are going to start in a little bit of a seated place here to get ourselves warmed up and ready for the day. So, finding a place. I just brought a blanket in this morning. I did also brought in a little tennis ball, so we may do a little bit with that. But I'm going to put that off to the side. Uh, and as we're in seated, let's just get ourselves comfortable. Let's notice the way we're sitting, and let's notice perhaps the fluids of the body, and do they need to move a little bit? And as we start to get kind of our pelvis onto our surface, let's notice connection with the earth. We're talking this month about the dosha of Vata, and that dosha is considered to be made up of the elements of air and space. So as the fall starts to come in, we'll notice that the air or the winds start to pick up a little bit. It starts to get drier, and that starts to affect us. So we're just kind of in the beginning of all that accumulating of those two elements, not only in our environment, but we might notice it in ourselves as well. So we'll continue with this month to talk about that. So in this place, let's do a little bit of just moving. Let's start with that. Let's bring our hands to the center of the heart. Maybe we're going to snuggle our middle finger underneath the chin. Totally up to you. And we're just going to move a little bit side to side. I want you to notice what your weekend was like. I know it was a holiday weekend. So we're coming off a little bit of a different day and perhaps a little bit different sleep last night than our normal Tuesday morning. So let's just notice how that might be affecting or contributing to how we feel, how we move this morning. And as we're moving just from side to side, slowing it down perhaps today. Let's take today very gently, knowing that it is a bit of a different Tuesday for us. And let's do this two more times. I started to the right, and so I'm going to end here on the left. And then let's bring those hands down and let's do a little side bending. So can we take an arm maybe overhead? Maybe we just want to start with a little side bending and maybe not even add the arm, or we can bring those arms in to come up overhead. And let's notice where our mind is at. Is it here in the room with us? Is it already on to the busyness of our day? Can we just bring it and reel it kind of back into the space that we're in? Again, here I started on the right, so I'm going to end on the left. I've got one more here. Excellent. And so we're going to, let's do an easy breath this morning. I was going to do Nadi Shodhana, but let's just keep it really super simple this morning. And let's just do a little bit of breathing into the belly. And maybe we want to bring our hands here just to recognize, not only with our minds, but with physical touch, where we want to bring that breath into. So can we think about letting the belly just be soft as we're bringing the air in and just as soft as we're bringing it out. You may know some expansion and contraction. You may want to close your eyes. And let's think about now, perhaps the count of the breath. Can we keep the inhale and the exhale even? And maybe 5 is a nice number this morning to start with. Knowing that you can always change that according to your body, your chemistry. And now can we add a little pause after the inhale, knowing that that's the nourishing part of the breath. So we're inhaling, we're taking a little pause, and then we're exhaling. Inhaling, little pause, and exhaling. Let's do 2 more rounds. then bringing our hands down to our lap. Let's breathe 5 more times, just naturally for us. We're going to come into tabletop from here. So perhaps coming forward onto your mat, I'm going to take my blanket up from underneath me. Let's just get our hands onto the mat. Let's spread our fingers wide. Let's notice our hands grounding or feeling the touch of the earth underneath our mat. And let's do the same with our knees and perhaps the tops of our feet. So we're just going to take a couple of breaths here, and we could be doing a little bit of moving. Maybe it's just forward and back, just a little bit of gliding, noticing how our hands are taking in that weight of the body. And then from here, we're going to settle in so that we can go up and down with the spine and do a little bit of cat and cow. So we're going to be moving through the spine. And perhaps we're noticing where we're starting this movement from. Noticing what your body feels open to this morning. And from here, let's come back to neutral. Let's take a breath in neutral. And now let's do spinal balance. So can we think about taking right leg behind us, left arm out in front, and let's take a breath. Can we slowly bring that elbow and knee towards each other, reaching back out? And then let's bring it down. Let's go to the other side. Left leg's behind us, right arm's out in front. We're noticing our balance or perhaps lack of balance. And we're going to slowly bring elbow and knee towards each other and then back out. And then let's just repeat this. So we're going to reach out and we're going to come underneath and we're reaching back out. Now you find your rhythm, you find your speed. Again, we're all made up a little differently. So don't hesitate to change things as you need to during practice today. Okay, we're going to do one more set. Excellent. We're going to come down then onto our forearms. We're going to come into tiger pose. And in tiger pose, we can interlace our fingers or bring our palms down to the mat again, just to feel ourselves grounding to the earth. We're going to take our right leg up into the space. So we might want to bring our left knee into the middle of the mat. So we've got this right foot in the air, and let's start to circle the foot at the ankle. Letting our head drop so that we don't have to hold up our heavy head. And then let's go the opposite direction. And we're going to point and flex here just a little bit. And then let's start to move the legs. So can we bring the knee down and we'll lift it back up? And we're going to repeat that movement, just up and down with the knee. And can this evolve into a little bit of circling? So we're going to take it up, maybe out to the side, down, and then back up. And then let's go the opposite way. We've got the leg up. Let's drop the knee down. Let's go out and around, and up and around perhaps. Can we cross this right knee over the left? So we're going to have to move our left knee just a little bit. We're going to start to walk our hands towards our knees. We're going to let our bum settle between our 2 feet. So let's let the feet go wide. Makes it a little bit easier. And let's just come back to a place where it feels comfortable. And we're noticing any leaning one way or the other. Does our bum want to go a certain direction? And we're going to try to guide it straight back. Let's take another breath. And then let's walk forward. Let's come back onto these forearms. Let's uncross these legs and let's do the other side. So right knee to support us might want to come to the middle of the mat. We're going to bring that left leg up. Could be bent, could be straight. We're going to start to move the foot at the ankle. And then the opposite direction. And then maybe just a little pointing and flexing. If we were standing, it might be just a little bit of kind of a forward and back movement. Same as here. And then we're going to start to drop the knee and lift it back up. So the whole leg is moving through space. But yet we feel this grounding of the body onto the mat. Okay, next time it comes up, let's start to take that knee out to the side underneath us and then back up. Out to the side underneath us and back up. We'll do one more of those. When that leg comes back up, let's go the opposite direction. So it's going to come towards the floor. It's going to go out and then up. Let's get this little bit of downward movement first. Last time. Let's take this left knee and let's cross it over now the right. We're going to let the right foot go wide. We're going to slowly start to come up onto the palms. Just let our bum come back to wherever comfortable place it's at. And we'll just play here with that. Just noticing a little stretch through the hip. We're going to walk our hands forward. We're going to come back into tabletop and let's extend out that right leg. And I'm going to move forward just a little bit more so my foot stays on the mat. So I'm going to extend it out. I'm going to curl the toes under. I'm sinking back. So I am noticing any tightness in the back side of the leg especially. You may feel it all the way up into the shoulders or the back of the head. And even with this one, let's add a little side bend. Let's cross that right leg over the left. Can we look back for it? Over that left shoulder. And then let's switch sides. We'll bring that right knee back underneath us. Let's take the left leg out. Let's curl the toes. We're going to sink back into the heel. And if you're on your feet a lot this weekend, you might notice this little stretch. Feels kind of good. And then let's cross it over. Let's look over the right shoulder for it. And then we're going to come back. Let's curl both toes under. And can we think about lifting up into downward dog? So can we start to bring our weight over the body, over the mat, a little higher, this upside down V? We may want to do a little bit of pedaling the feet, pedaling the ankles. So we're walking our dog. And then let's think about walking our hands towards our feet. So we're going to come to this place of forward fold. Now we could have quite a bent, you might notice me too this morning. I've got quite the bent knees, totally fine. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here. And then let's come up into mountain pose. And you may want to slowly just round up, or you may want to swan dive up. So we're going to get into two mountain poses here. And can we think about taking the arms wide? I'm going to step back. Can we take our hands, can we bend the knees a little bit? Can we think about bringing our energy down into our legs? So take the arms wide, up overhead. You maybe remember this from before, we call it packing the prana. So we want to get our energy into our feet. Helps us to ground. And especially this time of the year when everything gets to be a little bit more mobile, this is going to serve us well in our balance and in our day, just to be grounded. Let's do two more. And then let's come up to standing. Let's let our hands come by our hips or onto, or just letting them dangle. Let's take this right leg. I'm going to turn this way. And let's just do a little bit of circling. I'm going to do a little circling with the legs. We're thinking about ankle. We've got a little bit of movement in the hip. We'll go the opposite direction. Doing a little bit of churning. And then let's do the other side. So we're going to take our foot just back just a little bit so that we have some space to do the churning. Get a little bit of space underneath the foot. And then let's go the opposite direction. And then we're going to get into both feet. Can we think about dropping our chin? And can we let that chin raise up and then back down? Raise up and then back down. We'll do it one more time. You go as far as it feels comfortable, both directions. And then we're going to let our head roll to the right. Bringing our chin down, we're going to let it roll to the left. Let's do that two more times. A little bit right. Let's notice if your shoulders want to get involved. Doesn't need to be a shoulder movement. So can we ask those shoulders to quiet down a bit if that's what they would like to do. And then let's move through the shoulders themselves. We'll give them their opportunity to move here. So a little bit of shoulder rolls up towards the ears, towards each other, down the back. One more. And then let's bring those arms up, and can we just take them over the head and back here? And then can we wiggle our fingers? Then can we do the both of them at the same time? So we're wiggling the fingers, we're bringing those arms back down. Let's do one more. And then we're gonna twist. Let's just start to twist here a little bit, the upper body. Can we let our shoulders go one direction, our head go the other? Can we let the rest of the body kind of get involved? We're twisting. We can let our knees kind of maybe come up. Maybe that'd feel kind of good. Now I'm remembering how the head thing could be just a little bit, I'm gonna say it takes a little bit of practice, or it takes a little bit of moment here to do all of that. And then let's pause. Let's bring our hands down to our knees. Can we do a little bit of circling with the knees? I'm gonna say let's do the same direction, but I think you could do them opposites. And then let's go the other direction. And then as long as we're down here, let's do a little bit of that snake. So here's where we kind of bend the knees and we're kind of like a wave, I guess you might say. Let's see how pliable we can let our spine be this morning. And that's what this snake churning is all about, is the spine. One more. And now let's just let our hips do a little bit of moving. We might take a little bit of space between our feet. And we're gonna let those hips come forward, right side, back, and left side. And then let's pause. Let's go the opposite direction. And we are soft in our knees. And then this morning, let's pause here. Let's take a couple of breaths. Can we take the arms wide up overhead, hands to the center of the heart? So another way we can kind of think about our energy coming in and settling us a bit here. Let's do one more. Let's turn our feet inward. Let's soften our knees. Let's come into a little goat pose. And in goat pose, I love to close my eyes. I think it's just a nice pose to be able to look inward for a few breaths. But if it makes you dizzy, not for you, then just keep those eyes open. One more breath here. Excellent. Let's come to the front edge of our mat if we are not already, and let's think about going into a tree pose. So let's let our right leg be our standing leg. Let's take this left leg out to the side. Whether we lift the foot or not off the mat is totally up to you. Perhaps we just use it more of a kickstand this morning, all depending on how our balance is. Let's notice our tree being very tall and supple. Let's take this foot behind us then. Can we come into warrior one? So I'm going to kind of go to the side here. Little warrior one. And then we're going to go into what I heard as stargazer. And I kind of like this. So we're going to take our hands behind us. We're going to lift the chest. We're going to look up towards the stars. And then let's come forward into humble warrior. So we're going to start to bring the chest over the toes. Maybe the arms come back behind us. And then we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Let's straighten that front leg into pyramid pose. And then let's find our warrior one. And with our arms in this position of cactus, let's do a little bit of rotation. So we're going to notice where our front knee is. Let's rotate over it. And then we're going to come back. Can we think about this being generated through the waist? Arms are just coming along. They're riding right in the movement. One last one. And then let's take those arms down. Let's find ourselves back in mountain pose. So can we be here? Let's take a couple of breaths. Let's go the opposite way. Can we think about tree pose here now? So now our left leg is going to be our standing leg, and we are thinking tree. And let's let our eyes settle on something that's out in front of us. Perhaps it's something that you're very familiar with. It's probably in your own home, but something you enjoy. And then from here, we're going to step back now with that same foot. We're thinking warrior one. And then we're going to take those arms behind us. We're going to go into this stargazer pose. Let our shoulders relax away from the ears. And can we keep that thought in the back of our minds as we start to come forward into humble warrior? And then we'll straighten that front leg. We'll come into pyramid pose, and we can change the arms, maybe bringing them to our hips. Maybe we're bringing those arms out in front of us. And then we're going to come back up into our warrior one. Let our arms settle, keeping the elbows in a place where they're comfortable. And then we're going to do a little bit of rotation. Noticing what your body's accepting. Or I should actually say, maybe the distance. How much should we rotate? Well, what's your body telling you? Is there a little tweak, or is there a little something that is coming into mind as we're twisting? And then maybe we just pause. Maybe we notice what that is. We get familiar with that feeling. Where is it? How big is it? Is it soft? Does it have some sharpness to it? We're going to do one more twist. Excellent. And then from here, let's take the arms down. Can we think about taking our legs wide? Can we come into a little forward fold? I'm going to bring, I usually use a block, but I don't have one here. So I'm just going to fold my blanket up one more time. So I have a little something to bring my hands to. I really like to have my hands connected to the earth. So as we're taking our legs wide, hands or fingers can be on the mat. They can be on something in front of us. And let's just notice what feels good in our hips and in our lower back. And we could be in this forward fold, we could be in downward dog, or we could be in monkey pose, halfway up. And now let's think about taking our feet in a little bit. Let's take our hands maybe in a little bit. Can we come down onto hands and knees for a moment? And then let's just swing our legs around. Can we come onto our backs? Can we think about bringing the right knee into the chest? And can we just do a little circling here again with the foot? And then let's take the right or the left knee, sorry, and let's do just a little circling with the foot. One direction, then the other. Let's take both knees into the chest, and let's do a little circling now with the whole leg. And taking it slow so that we can notice. We have the opportunity to not only feel, but notice even with sight or with sound. Sometimes sound is something that gives us a little bit of information about what's going on in the body. Now let's pause. Let's go the opposite direction. And then let's bring our feet to the mat, our hands to the mat. Can we think about going into bridge pose? So can we lift those hips up into the air? And what do we notice about our bum? And is our bum working to help us get that pelvis up off the mat? And then we can lower back down. And then let's lift into bridge again. And lowering down. Let's think about doing the third and last one. So we're going to lift the pelvis up off of the mat. And we'll bring the legs back down. Let's think about going into a little bit of butterfly here, moving butterfly. So let those legs go wide and come back up. Let's do one more butterfly. Let those legs go wide again. Can we bring the soles of the feet together then? And can we come into this laying down butterfly? And perhaps here we'd like to bring those arms into cactus. Noticing how that's feeling through the spine, through the shoulders, and the back of the neck. Well, maybe even the front of the neck. Maybe the throat is another place. Just to check in. And then from here, we could really come into Shavasana. Legs up the walls, another great Shavasana, or even just taking our legs and taking the feet a little bit wide, letting the knees rest against each other. A little constructive rest. And just like we did in the beginning of class, let's connect with our breath. Can we let that breath be rhythmic? Noticing the air coming into the space of the lungs, and then noticing it come back out. Rhythmically in and out. And then noticing the space around us. Let's notice any sounds. Let's feel the temperature of the air upon our skin, our clothes resting upon the skin, and the body then resting upon the mat. Can we notice any taste in the mouth? Any smells in the air? And then let's perhaps bring our knees up and let's roll over onto the side of the mat or onto our body side, resting on the mat. Vata season reminds us to slow down, root into the earth, and turn attention inward, just as the plants and animals all around are doing. Nature provides us wide guidance when paying attention. So let's slowly come up to an easy sitting place. Let's gather that energy with our arms into the center of the heart. And let's take a few moments with our gratitudes, our prayers, our intentions for the day. I want to thank you for coming and sharing your practice with me. Journey with joy. Follow your wild heart. Namaste. Have a great Tuesday. Hope to see you really soon.